Here's another true funny story. When I moved to Philly, I had got a job, and I was a manager at a residential house for people with disabilities, because that's where I got my master's in. And I remember being there, and they wanted me to turn the house around. And they're like, okay, I had to do so much managing people. And I took my keys out, from the job and put them in the desk and just sent an email and say, yo, I quit, and walked off the middle of the shit 2 weeks in. Cause I'm like, yo, listen, I'm not about to be managing all of these somebody else's business when I have my own. I ain't had no vending machines though. I was just confident in what I was gonna do, because seeing my name on that which, like I said, the visual thing was so big to me that I'm just like, man, I'm only gonna put myself in a position to do that. And still, my mind was still real estate, but as time started to go on, I want to be the best at anything that I do. And at that point in time, I was in vending machines, so I was trying to max out and go hard with everything I was doing within that. And that's kind of how I got into vending machines. It was really just me supposed to grab one machine or two machines, as a little part-time thing. And then it took off. If you ask me, like, did I envision where I'm at today? I would say no, I didn't. Didn't. Like, I have a piece of paper when I used to work at my job where I used to write all of my financial goals, and real estate was still at the top. Like, I'm gonna have 8 houses, it was making this amount of money, and the vending machines was down. I'm like, I'm gonna have 20 machines, and if they all make $100 a month or $200 a month, be cool. But it's like, I didn't anticipate this at all.
Man. So I feel like even though you didn't anticipate yourself being there and doing that, I feel like you still kind of did, because you already had that vision of, listen, I'm going to be successful no matter what. And when you put the energy out into the universe, it'll deliver. And it might not be in the way that you think it's going to deliver, but it'll still deliver, man. So I think that's incredible. That's awesome, man. Wow.
I built this me, brick by brick.
Welcome to Brick by Brick, where we discuss different ways for you to build your empire, one brick at a time. We discuss everything from real estate, e-commerce, stocks, crypto, and more. Whether you're an entrepreneur, working a 9-to-5, or in the streets, Brick by Brick is here to help you get to the next level. Let's go.
All right, y'all, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of Brick by Brick, and this one is actually very special. We got our very first guest on the show, man. So, but before I even get to talking, man, yo, Big G, Greg, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Blessed, bro. Blessed. Excited to have this conversation, learn something new, try to teach people something new. So
yeah, man. So yo, brother Marcus Graham, welcome to the show, brother. How are you feeling?
Thank you first of all, thank you for having. I didn't know I was the first guest, so actually, I appreciate it a lot. Actually, I'm doing good, man. Just handling business, being a dad, a fiance, just out here living it.
Man, look. So first of all, I love to hear that, because Greg and I talk about it all the time, but we're family men. You know what I'm saying? Married men, and definitely, I'm saying, raising children and all that too. So I think that's a very great thing. But on top of that, I'm excited to get you on the show, because not only do I respect your entrepreneurship game, but it's a lot of people on Twitter who got trash basketball takes, and you always got A1 takes. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that a lot, sincerely, man. So like we were kind of talking about it a bit before the show, man. But a big part of the reason why we even started Brick by Brick is because all of us got, both of my brother and I got history in the streets a little bit. You were kind of telling me a little bit about your backstory, but a big thing for us is helping folks from our community, folks who may be in the streets, even if you got a 9-to-5, or even if you're already an entrepreneur. How can we help folks kind of get into the game? And everybody says they have a business, but like a lot of people aren't running their business and scaling it and doing what they're supposed to do the right way. So we want to bring on folks who know what they're doing, have been building a successful business, and help and having them kind of jump on and kind of give some game and provide some wisdom, man. So like, yo, I appreciate you taking the time and even jumping on with us, for sure, man.
No, I'll tell you, man, I appreciate it a lot. As soon as you ask me, I'm down.
Yeah. And that was quick. I appreciate that, sincerely. You know what I'm saying? No ego, no none of that. That's love, man. Yeah, man. So look, so the first thing that I want to get into, I think that it's going to be a bunch of game and gems in this episode. But I think that what's very important is for folks to be able to connect with you on a real level and kind of hear more about your story, man. So like, yo, like where are you from, man?
I'm from Rochester, New York. It's kind of like a small city, and in the state of New York. I moved to Philadelphia 4 years ago, and then from there I was there for 3 years, which where I used to build up my business, and then I moved to Maryland about 6 months ago.
Okay, nice. What part of Maryland?
I'm in outside of Baltimore, like a suburb.
Oh, that's crazy. Because
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
I ain't even gonna hold you. I literally 6 months ago moved from closer to DC up closer to Baltimore. I'm like in a suburb right outside of Baltimore.
Yeah, me too. Though I rarely don't say like the city because I don't really want nobody to know.
Oh no,
I know,
yeah.
but we got a link actually. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got a link.
Oh, definitely, man. Because I don't really know too many people here. Actually, nobody really outside of my fiance really like that. So I've been trying to link with people, especially like-minded, like me. So yeah, definitely we got to.
Yeah, man, for sure. So that's dope. And definitely, yeah, don't let folks know exactly where you at. That's bad operational security, and so yeah, especially in a recession and inflation and all that. So yeah, let's be smart. But yeah, man. So what really got you into your entrepreneurship journey? Because I mean, from what I remember, I think from like some of your tweets, like I know you had like you were working, had a regular 9 to 5, and I don't know if you got fired, lost that job, and ended up just kind of having to figure things out. But what was that story like?
Man, so as far as like wanting to become an entrepreneur, I got it from my grandfather. Like my grandfather is a very important person in my life. He used to work on he was a sharecropper, South Carolina.
Wow.
And his grandparents were slaves, so he always would talk to us about his history and things of that nature. And it was important to him. One thing he always said about when he left from South Carolina and moved to New York when he was 17. At that point, he couldn't read. He couldn't read or write because he was a sharecropper, and he only went to school when it rained. So he didn't learn to read till he was like 21 or 25, one of those ages. But he always talked about when he wanted to move back home way better than when he left. So he had built up a real estate portfolio. And when he did that, and I saw him once he retired from work, he sold most of his properties to use that money to, go, to move back home. So I remember coming to visit him the end of my freshman year of college and seeing the house that he had built was like a mansion. And I'm just like, damn, like, what I'm saying? That's what I want to live. For me, I don't have a lot of luxury stuff I want to buy, anything like vices like that. But my house is something that I always like. A nice big house is something I always wanted in my life. So seeing that, like that little light bulb, in my head. And he's been my mentor pretty much ever since then. So he kind of put that in my head. There's a lot of stuff he was teaching me that I didn't really grasp until I got a little older, because at 20 years old, I wasn't really he's telling me to buy. I remember he told me to buy a duplex, you buy a duplex, live in one side, rent out the other. And you let that, let the rent pay for your mortgage, and then he's saying this stuff to me at 20 years old, and I'm not grasping it at all. And it's not until I was 25 until they started to click, because somebody who was my age, I was a friend with, said the same exact thing that he said, but it just seemed a little different coming from him because we were the same age. He might have spoke a little differently, but when he said it, I'm like, damn, that's exactly the thing my grandfather was saying. Went back to him, just listened to everything he said since then, no combative, just when he talks, I don't speak. To the point where you have to ask me, yo, are you think I'm saying okay? And I just listen, bro. I just listen. He always taught me, you got two ears and one mouth for a reason. You gotta listen twice as much as you speak. And I always held on to that. So even when I got into my vending machine stuff, which is what the listeners are gonna know that I do, where I believe I'm an expert at. A lot of the stuff I got, he talked to me about. He doesn't talk to me about vending machines now. He's just talking to me about business. And that helps me a lot. I've run stuff by him. Like, he don't know nothing about vending machine, but he knows business, he knows professionalism and things of that nature. So yeah, my grandfather really put the entrepreneur stuff in my head, in regards to like really wanting to create, wealth for my family. I'm a family man, so when I seen that and I saw the things that he can do and things of that nature, I wanted to emulate that.
Yeah. Man, wow, that is dope. I mean, so all right, that to me, there's a lot of pieces to that. I got some questions, Greg. I'm sure you probably got some questions too. But the first thing I'm thinking about is, man, like when people think about history, like they think about it like it's thousands of years ago and they far removed. But the fact that your grandfather was a sharecropper that couldn't read until he was in his early 20s, that is amazing, right? But then the fact that he learned to read in his early 20s and was able to take that and build a real estate portfolio is like, that to me is like, all right, look, like everybody has an excuse for why they can't do this and why they can't do that.
Right.
But that to me is like, bro, there is no excuse. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is huge. That's crazy, man. Wow. Man. So okay. All right. So I don't know if you wanted to say something about that, Greg, but like, I mean, that was huge for me right there. That was crazy. That's a major game.
That's pretty amazing. And the fact that he's telling you to buy a duplex, like that is like real estate 101. Start with a duplex because your tenant's gonna pay your mortgage. You can live for free, kind of save your money and invest in the things that you love or buy more real estate. So I mean, he put that on from the beginning.
Yeah, and that's what he did, man. And he did it. And he always talked to me because he did it when he was 45 years old, So he always talked about like, he always said, man, if I was younger, he would just, things like that. And like when I looked at that, I'm like, damn, I'm 20. At this point, I'm 25 when he's really like, when I'm really grasping it, like, man, I'm 25, I have a college degree, I know how to read and write, what I'm saying? All of the things that he didn't have, to me, it was like Steph said, no excuse because, no matter, I'm from the slums, I've been through some shit, like, but it will never compare to the shit that he lived through. And he still persevered. So for me, it was kind of like, if he can do all of this, there's no excuse that I can't. That was always my thing. There's no excuse. You know what I'm saying? And I know people be saying like, don't pull yourself up by the bootstraps, things like that. Like, I don't tell people what they should do. I'm just saying for myself, I felt like there was no excuse, watching this person I get to speak to. And, my uncle, is a millionaire, from real estate because he went to another level after everything my grandfather taught him. So both of them are my mentors and stuff of that nature, So when I seen it, I will never forget it. I was, being a mentor, because I stumbled into vending machines. Like I didn't really, real estate was my passion. I wanted to do it. I was saving money for all of that shit. I remember my uncle, man, he was like, he showed me his black book. And it was, it was all his rental income. And, and it was, $30,000 a month. And I'm looking at this because I'm making $2,500 a month. I got a college, everything. But he showed it to me. And I was like, damn, I'm going crazy. Like, what the? And I'm talking to this person, I'm from the hood, so I'm looking at this like, damn. And he like, no, you can make this. He like, yo, look, like you can make this. Like, you just need to do this, this, and that. You know what I'm saying? In regards to like how he did it. And it seemed so simple. I'm like, that's it. He like, that's it. So I adopted that mindset. And that was the first time I realized that, visualizing or writing things down on paper was the way to go for me. I would write down my goals and write down my aspirations and write down all that kind of stuff. And I would do it every single day. And that shit was so helpful for me. Like seeing that, that's why people wonder why I talk about finances, to talk about the things that I might do financially. It's not the brag, it's not the flex. Like some people need to see the stuff. Like I saw that and it was like, and I'm like, damn, I know you. If you can do that, like I could do that. Not in a hating way, but in more of an inspired way, So yeah, that should help me out a lot.
No, that's real. And go ahead, Greg.
So it's very important to see people do things so that you're capable of doing it as well. Because a lot of people, especially from where we're from, they don't think they can do a lot of things because they've never seen anyone do it. You know what I mean? And the fact that you saw your uncle and your grandfather do it, it's possible. am saying I saw my mom do a lot of things, so I knew that anything I wanted to do was possible because I've seen someone accomplish things. So, I mean, bro, that's a beautiful story, and I would love to sit down and talk to your grandfather one day, pick his brain, and your uncle.
Oh man, he loved that
That's
kind
my
of.
journey. Like I'm on that journey right now. Like real estate's my thing. Like I've been, yeah, like that's where it's at for me.
Yeah, he loved that thing, man. Like that's why he foreshadowed, the foreword in my book, because like he loves to give out the story. He'll talk to anyone about everything for a long period of time, man. Like he loves it's his passion,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Especially for the younger generation, it's his passion. He be trying to
Yeah.
make sure he don't talk too much.
No, I mean, honestly, I think that one, that's a beautiful thing, because what a lot of folks don't realize is that folks who are successful, I think a lot of people have this mentality that folks who are successful are sitting up on a ivory tower somewhere and they ain't trying to talk to nobody and they don't want to see nobody. But when you're actually around these people and you're with them, they're some of the nicest and most open and most giving people out there. So that's huge, especially folks from our community. Like they want us to follow in those footsteps and build wealth and do something major. So I think that's a major key. And side note, I mean, Greg, you probably don't see a lot of this, but I know Marcus, you see a lot of this just based on convos on Twitter. But a lot of folks from our community, a lot of us are on the grind trying to build wealth. But a lot of folks are like, oh, bootstraps, you can't make that kind of money because the white man gonna do this and the white man gonna do that. And it's like, man, look, honestly, bro, like that sounds cool, and we're not gonna deny the existence of racism or whatever. That's real. But at the same time, it's like don't let that be an excuse and be a crutch as to why you can't get out here and build wealth and be something great. You know what I mean? So
But what's easier though? Is it easier to go actually pull yourself up from the bootstraps and start a business from scratch and be successful at it? Or is it easier to sit back and complain that, oh, I can't do it because XYZ? You know what I'm saying?
yep. Yeah.
So most people will complain about it because they don't want to go out and do it. Or they'll
Yeah.
be mad at you because you're able to do it. So now they have to get up every day and look themselves in the mirror and explain to themselves why they're not doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you make excuse if you don't see somebody doing it, and or if you don't know someone doing it.
Yeah.
But if you see them doing it, now you have the option to go either try or literally be honest with yourself. Be like, look, man, I just don't want to do nothing, bro. Like it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's
And
fine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's fine. You know, like if you check my Twitter, man, like I said, like I never, like anyone can look at my social media. I've never told anyone to invest. I've never told anyone, you need to be doing this. I never told anyone why you're not doing this. I always tell my story, and I'm always fascinated with how many people get upset. It's like they project these things, and the truth of the matter is it is some type of, reflection. Like they sometimes feel like because you're doing it and they're not doing it, something has to be wrong, or they have to create a reason or excuse why it's not happening for them, and they lash out at you. But I learned, like I learned to like not take it personal. I've been trying to get into the minds of these people. That's why I ask some questions, because I'm fascinated by it, because I purposely like, hey, listen, I'm never going to tell nobody to do nothing. I'm just going to tell my story, my journey. And it's sad that so many people, they don't want to do something, or they don't have the desire to do something, but they want to tear you down because they don't see something for themselves,
Yeah.
And I feel bad for them, actually. Not even upset. I just feel bad, because
you're
I
right.
see what they could do. You know what I'm saying? I see
Yeah.
what they could do if they was to put more of that energy, into problem solving, but
Yeah.
that's what it is.
That's one of the reasons why we do this, is that, but also to even show guys that are out there and they're willing to try, but they're focused on the streets or doing things that know how, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how that's going to play out, you know what I mean? But if you're going to put that energy into something, here's a couple options. You know what I'm saying? Like, put it over here and just watch how this thing going to flourish.
Yep. So to that point, I know earlier you were saying that real estate really was your kind of like your passion and your focus before. You didn't even plan to get in the vending machine. So I definitely want to hear, like, how did that even happen? Because I mean, I think that's a business that everybody knows about. I mean, we used to vending machines since we were kids, but never before I connected with you online had I been like, yo, like there's actually a person who owns these and like builds and like puts the whole thing together. So like, how did you end up getting into the vending machine business?
All right, so true story, some movie type shit. Like I said, I moved in. I talk about this, so like I said, I'm transparent. When I realized I really wanted to change my life around, man, like I said, I had a graduate degree and things of that nature, and I just couldn't really get no great jobs, and it was tough. I remember moving back in with my mom to save money, and there were some people that definitely laughed at that shit, some of it might be a humbling experience because to go away from college, you go to school, you go to grad school, but you come back with your mom's house. And I had a 2-year-old son at the time. But I wanted to cut back on my expenses because I was so focused in buying a real estate property, So I'm like, listen. So for 9 months, I stayed with my mom's, and I saved up like $10,000. And I remember I was supposed to, my friend who I had a friend who I used to be cool with, he was in Philly, and he wanted to get in real estate too. And he wanted to do group economics, let's put some money together, buy real estate. So, but I'm like, man, I don't want to move to Philly, bro. I'm like, man, like if I'm gonna move somewhere, let me move somewhere warm. I've been living in the cold my whole damn life. I don't want to live in Philly. Like it didn't design me, but then I'm like, I find out I'll do it. And I had planned on moving like 8 months later. But then one day I just realized, like, man, if I wait till 8 months, I'm probably not gonna leave. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a certain level of comfortability where you at. So I had to put my back against the wall myself. So I just walked into my job one day and quit. And was like, I'm moving. I called my family up. I told them to meet me at my mom's house. We all came there for a meeting. I told them I was moving to Philly and I was never coming back. Even if I was homeless and stuff like that, I just was never coming back. And they all respected it, And the next day I drove to Philly, me and my then girlfriend, and we moved in with our friend. And we slept on their daughter's twin mattress for a year. You know what I'm saying? And during that time, because the purpose was to grind and try to get this money, real estate. And he had some vending machines. He was doing pretty well with them. And he was like, "Yo, just grab a vending machine while you waiting to get real estate and stuff like that." So I was like, "All right, fine." Out of my 10K, I ended up spending like 7,000. So I spent like 20. I remember spending like 2,800, 3,000 on a vending machine program, which it wasn't worth it whatsoever. I got a website out of it, which is cool, but then I spent on my machine. So, for that period of time, I just, like I said, I got into the business. Like it was supposed to be a side hustle thing. And what genuinely happened was seeing my name on the sticker on the vending machine, seeing my name on my business cards, just like, damn, I really own a business. Like that gave me such a sense of pride that I just kind of kept going, like here's another true funny story. When I moved to Philly, I had got a job and I was a manager at a residential house for people with disabilities, because that's where I got my master's in. And I remember being there and they wanted me to turn the house around. And they're like, okay, I had to do so much in managing people. And I took my keys out, from the job and put them in the desk and just sent an email and say, yo, I quit, and walked off the middle of the shit 2 weeks in. Cause I'm like, yo, listen, I'm not about to be managing all of these somebody else's business when I have my own. I ain't had no vending machines though. I was just confident in what I was going to do, because seeing my name on that which, like I said, the visual thing was so big to me that I'm just like, man, I'm only going to put myself in a position to do that. And still, my mind was still real estate. But as time started to go on, I want to be the best at anything that I do. And at that point in time, I was in vending machines. So I was trying to max out and go hard with everything I was doing within that. And that's kind of how I got into vending machines. It was really just me supposed to grab one machine or two machines, as a little part-time thing. And then it took off. If you ask me, like, did I envision where I'm at today? I would say no, I didn't. Didn't. Like, I have a piece of paper when I used to work at my job where I used to write all of my financial goals, and real estate was still at the top. Like, I'm gonna have 8 houses, it was making this amount of money, and the vending machines was down. I'm like, I'm gonna have 20 machines, and they all make $100 a month or $200 a month, be cool. But it's like, I didn't anticipate this at all.
Man. So I feel like even though you didn't anticipate yourself being there and doing that, I feel like you still kind of did because you already had the vision of, listen, I'm going to be successful no matter what. And when you put the energy out into the universe, it'll deliver. And it might not be in the way that you think it's going to deliver, but it'll still deliver, man. So I think that's incredible. That's awesome, man. Wow. So, all right. So with that, right? And I think you kind of discussed some of them, but what were some of the initial hiccups and roadblocks that you experienced while building the business?
Like I said, I bought a vending machine program. They were supposed to find me some locations, give me a course, all this type of stuff, but that didn't really work out. And then I got on my first location through my website, and it was a bad location. I talk about this location all the time. I was making, like, for the first 4 or 5 months, I was making like $60 a month between 2 machines. Mind you, I spent like $4,500 total, to set everything up. But where most people would be discouraged, I actually wasn't. I was actually encouraged because I remember it was like, I didn't get a sale for the first 2 days. And then when I seen that first sale go through, like a light bulb went in my head. It was like, oh shit, I can make money doing this. Like, so having $1 of sale meant that I can make money. So for me, it's like, if I can make $1, then I can make $10. If I can make $10, I can make $100 and so forth. Yeah. So it was like, maybe all I got to do was switch my strategy around, but money can be made. That was my thought process. And my friend, he's making a few thousand a month from his whole route. But I believe in, like, not pocket watching. I believe in staying focused on my lane, not looking left, not looking right, and worry about what's going on. So I never really compared. I never got discouraged. I was just like, oh shit, I made $1.50 today, man. I mean, I could make $2 tomorrow, $3. That was my kind of mindset. With that hiccup, like I said, I ended up, I didn't do my assessment well. I was in the office building. I saw them like, oh, it's 30 offices. It has 3 chairs there. I'm like, it's 90 people. It's going to do well. But really, it wasn't. It was like 1 person per office, and most of them, half of them might be there because it was like a lawyer thing. So they wasn't there. They out, the court, doing things of that nature. But as bad as that situation was, like, I ended up learning a lot. I learned how to operate the machine. I learned how to be professional, you know what I'm saying? Because that's one thing people don't understand. Everybody wants to be a business owner, but not everyone wants to be professional. There's a level of professionalism that comes with everything. I learned how to be a professional. I learned how to have a lot of my, documents and paperwork right, because I'm coming from the hood and now I have a business, and nobody taught me about business. And my grandfather taught me about real estate and things of that nature, but the behind the scenes stuff, like, I didn't know about, so I had to learn those things about getting my business insurance and, all that different type of stuff that goes with it, my LLC, different tax things. Like, I had to learn that stuff. I learned how to fix certain things on the machine. I learned a lot of that. So that first location, even though it was bad for me financially, it was like priceless because of that experience, what it allowed me to be where I am today. I learned how to, come out within 24 hours or, respond a lot, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I need to leave petty cash because they lost their money and they want to get reimbursed. Now I want them to be upset. Like, I learned how to do a lot of stuff from that bad location to set me up where I am today.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. All right. So listen, that actually is a perfect segue into the next question too. So I think what you just said is a major key because, I mean, one, you said it was a bad location, but you learned a lot. And I mean, I feel like there's a couple things you learned. One, you learned customer service, learned financial management, you learned how to be a handyman working on the actual machines, which is a major. I mean, like, wow, that is dope. So, and I think that a lot of folks, especially when it comes to business, a lot of folks experience a hiccup and they think, all right, damn, maybe this business isn't for me. Maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe I'm not smart enough. I'm not whatever enough. Not knowing that, hey, like, listen, you got those hiccups for a reason so that you can learn from them and be a better entrepreneur. So that's fire, man. That's dope. So yeah, man. So all right, Greg, you want to ask him the next question?
Yeah, because we got sidetracked and I'm so into what he's talking about. We get back to
that. For real.
So after all those mistakes, how did you learn to grow and scale your business?
Man. I got a real long story about all this stuff. But no, seriously though, because it's like it's so hard to like to like really explain how like this shit just like happened, but at the same time, when you take a step back, you like you said, you kind of was preparing for it. After my first location, I ended up having a vending machine route, so people that don't know what that is, a vending machine route is pretty much buying a existing vending machine business or part of a vending machine business. So it's like you're buying an established route where the machines are already in the business making money. So think of it as buying a real estate property that currently has a tenant living in it, so you don't have to do the hard part of finding a tenant, doing background checks. You immediately come in day one and start making your money back. So that's what buying route is. So I had that opportunity in front of me. Me and a friend, we went half on it. I took, it was 15 machines. I took 8, he took 7. And I ended up selling 4 of those because they were too far. So I got most of my money back, pretty much. And then the other 4, it was all in one place. And I was like, yo, this is my big break. It was at a college, whatever. And that shit wasn't doing good.
Wow.
That shit wasn't really doing good. But again, I just, continuing to take care of my machine. Like at this point in time, I was making like a few $100s, like $500 a month, probably between or 6. It was something like that. But I was taking care of it like it was $6,000 a month.
So it's 500 per machine or 500 total?
Total.
All right. So I got a question with that.
I got 6 machines at this time.
That's crazy. So how much did it cost you to buy that route?
It was cheap. It was cheap actually. It was $7,000. And typically when you buy a vending machine route, you're buying it for one time, at least one time the annual revenue, so if I was to buy, like if a machine, like if a location or route is making $1,000 a month, you will buy it for $12,000 or less, the buyer, and the seller wants a little less, you do that, but pretty much it's one time the annual revenue. So we had got 15 machines, and we had paid $7,000 total. So I paid $3,500 for my portion, but I ended up selling 25. I ended up selling 4 of the machines for $2,500 though. So I only paid $1,000 for those 4 machines. It's pretty much $250. So I made my money back rather quickly. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like a loss or nothing like that. It didn't vault my business. You know what I'm saying? The way I initially thought it was.
Hold on. So my next question with the route would be, how does someone go about finding a vending machine route?
It's the easiest thing, to be honest, would be search vending machine routes in your area. So if you're in Baltimore, you'll just type up vending machine routes for selling Baltimore, and there's different pages you can go to that will have them. Facebook Market, OfferUp, Let Go, Craigslist, like places where people sell things, you will potentially find those things from there. You have to, obviously, I always tell people to assess it. You have to assess the route, like if it has card readers on, you want to check the sales for the card readers. You want to know how long it's been there. If it doesn't have card readers, you want to really grill them if it doesn't have card readers on there, because people can say whatever they want to say. You have to assess it like, okay, how much people is in here? Why don't they have card readers? How long have they been in business? Because typically older people don't have card readers, because the vending machine business is an old white man's business. As people know, they're like, hey, the mob, that's kind of a real thing, because they used to launder money through it. You know what I'm saying? So, so it's easier to do those things without card readers, because,
Right. Because you can't judge how much sales, right?
Right, you know what I'm saying? But you still want to be able to see some type of forms of tax documents. You want to be able to see if they have deposits so that their business bank account. If they don't have, some people, might not have a business bank account, they might have their regular job. And if that's the case, you just might have to walk away from that deal, because you want to deal with someone that's going to be professional, because you have to protect yourself. They should be able to readily have certain things available for you, especially if you're spending a certain amount of money. Like if you're spending $1,200, then, I don't really care. Like that's not a big crazy thing, because you can put that machine and put it somewhere else that's better. You know what I'm saying? And you essentially will be buying a very cheap machine that's maybe making a small amount of money, but you can still put it somewhere to make more money. So that's not a bad thing. But if you're spending $5,000 to $10,000, you need to see bank statements. You know what I'm saying? You need to see how frequent they are. You need to see, like, if they have tax returns for the last couple of years. You need to see they need to readily have like a book that has their stuff in it. Like, that should be on go. You know what I'm saying? If they don't have it on go, do not spend $5,000 or $10,000 with that person. Yeah, so a route is pretty much the best. It's the closest thing to a guarantee once you assess it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no guarantee in the business, but that's the closest thing, because when you buy it, you're buying the future, you're buying the sales of the machine, you know, of that location. You know what I'm saying? Like, people look at paying $10,000 for a vending machine route and they get nervous and scared, but it's like, think about anything in business. I paid $10,000 today, and every year for the rest of my life, as long as I have it, I'm making $10,000 a year. That is an amazing return of investment.
Right.
But if you're not really in the business, you don't know that. You just think I'm spending $10,000 and I'm about to make $833 a month. Like, that don't seem, but that's an amazing thing, because a year or 2 years or something after that, let's say in 2 years, you already made your money back. You know, you get in profit. You can then turn around and sell it for $10,000. So you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a great strategy. Like, you have money, you don't want to do the hard part of finding, you know, where to put a machine or anything like that. Just buy a route, man. Like, I do it. I still do it because it just makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
So with the vending machines, do you do like soda machines or just snacks, cold sandwiches? Like, what do you do exactly?
I do traditional soda and snacks. Like, I have a couple machines where I have a couple sandwiches in there. I don't do any cold sandwich, like a full machine like that, because you can back yourself into a corner in regards to spoilage and not making money, because, like, maybe I have 1 row or 2 rows of sandwiches, but I can't have a whole machine of that type of stuff, because it's not gonna move like that. So I do pretty much traditional soda and snack machines, combo machines, which is half and half. You know, I'm like, at this point in time, I'm like the combo king. Pretty much all of my locations but one has a combo machine in it.
Okay.
A combo machine is a machine that does both, or you mean have 2 machines there?
No, that goes both.
Okay.
It's all in one.
Okay. So something I want to ask you about too, because you kind of mentioned it already. Like, some of the machines, like the older ones, they're like straight cash, and some of them have card readers and all that. So one thing that I kind of heard about is like you can buy a machine that only accepts cash and kind of upgrade it and then put it. So what is that? Well, so I guess the first question is, like, what is that process like to upgrade the machines? And the second thing is, like when you get paid via the card reader, like you get notified each payment, like it's PayPal or something like that, or like how does that work?
In regards to upgrading the card reader, you can have some motherboards just straight up upgrade it. You know what I'm saying? They can just, it's a chip or, you know, like a board that you can just put in an update. Some older machines, you can't do that. You have to get a kit. You know, it's like an extension piece that will, you know, force it to be card reader compatible. Some machines are already easily ready to be, and some you have to like really convert it, you know, which is going to cost an extra $400.
Okay.
And in regards to the, you know, the money, you know, like each card reader has a portal, and then that portal attracts the real time sales, you know. So, you know, and those sales, the card sales go to your bank account. You know, you might get paid every Friday, or you might get paid every Monday, but that's kind of how it worked, you know. You used to be able to just do it with any bank account. Now it's more so they want you to have like a business bank account. But yeah, so that's pretty much, you know. So any card reader, I mean, any machine you can make to card reader compatible. It's just so much easier to get with machines that are like already that, you know what I'm saying, at the point in time. Like, as we are, you know, furthering in technology and where we are today, just not having a card reader on your machine is crazy, because it boosts your sales like 25 to 35%. You know, a good amount of my sales come from card readers.
Yeah. Like, I realize most people nowadays don't carry cash. I still carry cash, but not like I used to. But I realize most people don't carry cash. So my question with the card reader is, does the bank charge a percentage, or come on, babe, or does This dude tripping. Grayson, come on. So, or does Visa charge a percentage?
No, the card reader company will charge a processing fee. And you can you can kind of not void it, but kind of take care of it when you have the 10-cent surcharge for using the card reader. So that's what happens. Like if every time there's a process, every time there's a swipe, they take a fee. And if you ever look at a vending machine, moving forward, you'll see on there, it will say 10 cent for using credit, so you want that to take care of that processing fee. So if I'm selling something for $2, I'm not, when they swipe the card, I'm not getting paid $1.90 or $1.95. I'm still getting $2. So my sell will say $2.10, but really I'm making $2.
Right. So the customer will pay that 10 cent.
They'll pay that 10 cents.
Right. Makes sense.
And they don't even think about it. Like they just.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So all right. So essentially, like that little extra 10% charge is just to cover the processing fee, so that you can break even or still make profit.
Yeah, you'll at least break even. You should at least break even, and there will be some like profit and stuff like that. Like it showed me on my spreadsheet, like if it's when I get my payouts weekly, like it will say like you have, some will call it 2-tier price, and I have 2 different card readers that I use. I'm transitioning mainly to one that I really like now because it has so much more within their software. But it might say like 2-tier pricing, $52, and then processing fee, $48. So I profited $4 from my thing.
Okay.
So most of the processing fees was taken, away by that 10 surcharge.
Okay. All right. So my next question now is, like, how many locations or different states are you in as far as the business?
Jersey, I'm in PA. So I'm in different parts of PA, so you have Philly, I'm in King of Prussia, I'm in, I feel like I'm forgetting a whole bunch of stuff. Garrett Valley, Chatsford. Right now I'm in Baltimore, Joppa, and DC. And I'm actually about to be in Detroit in the next few weeks.
Okay. So my man is really the vending machine combo king in these streets. That's amazing.
The one in Detroit gonna be a traditional soda and snack, but we're gonna add a combo later.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So the machines out of state, how do you restock those?
Well, so the Detroit one, I have a relationship with somebody who has a property management company that I'm working with, for them to manage my vending machine route. So we have our strategies and everything, handbook and stuff set up so that we can do it. This is going to be the first time we really, we've experimented with managing someone else's route to see what would it be like if we have someone managing ours. And we learned it, stuff like that. We learned it. So now we're going to be able to do that, so that moving forward, you will be able to see my company possibly like, really nationwide in a sense. So we working on different strategies and things like that, what it would look like, for us, when we was managing people route, we would like buy their product, and then they'll reimburse us at the end of the month. But what we're going to do moving forward is we're going to probably just, have someone on my team and my assistant just order the product for them. So they're not spending their money. They can just go pick the product up, or we have a designated place. Maybe it's an office space where they'll get delivered. Because like we have an office space and, a place or two where it's like $60 a month. And, it's an official business address, so it's helpful when it comes to things like business credit, things of that nature. So, it can get delivered there. You don't have to worry about it being in storage unit, or it's in the business office. They keep it safe for you. Have the people that's going to manage the route go get it, and maybe we have another storage unit where they can, break things down and, organize stuff like that, but make it as easy as possible for them, so that pretty much, have it set up to that, we have a technician that we work with, we have a delivery person if we need another machine. We want to make it so where their primary thing is going to be to to pick up the product, to break it down, organize it, to stock, put it back in stores, go home. We have the card readers where it's going to be able to tell us how much cash should be in the cash box, and the card sales, which is the majority of it, is going to come to us. So yeah, that's how we working on. Detroit is going to be the first time we implement it, officially, and then we're going to go from there.
Okay, that is awesome, man. That's huge. That's dope. So how many people are on your team right now?
1, 2, 3. Technically, I want to say 4.
Okay.
I have 2 people that stock, and then it's myself. Now, I didn't. My sister was the one that primarily stocked for me all last year, so I didn't do anything last year. 2021, I was on my couch chilling.
Nice.
That's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I moved to Maryland, I didn't, to be honest, I didn't really plan on growing my business. You know what I'm saying? I would just want to keep it at a certain place. I didn't really think about growing it. And I credit my fiance for, giving me the courage and things like that to grow it, to like, no, you can make it to be such and such. I wanted to keep it manageable, but she like, no, you can make it amazing. And she was right, so when I moved to Maryland, and I also realized how bored I was just chilling and stuff. Like, people were like, you have the good life, but I'm so used to doing things that this is about to be some real, like, mental health shit, because it's like, I realized that for the first time when I had peace, it was driving me crazy because I never experienced it before. I didn't know how to react to having peace. I didn't know how to react to having some of the things that I wanted, especially because for somebody like me, like I tell people, 2018, I was poor, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that 10,000, if I vending machine stuff didn't work, I was going to be back, not back at home, but it was like, I was going to just be back where I started, which is, in poverty, so it kind of had to work for me. It seemed like me, it just happened so fast, so when I kind of got some of these things, it was kind of like, what the hell do I do? And I'm in a new city and state where, I don't really have, stuff, people, friends like that. So I kind of was like, all right, I'm making all this money passively, I get to do the things I want to do, but like, what the hell? So I started to build my route back up and try to build shit up in the DMV area. And that's been good. It's kept me busy, also, still doing things like going to therapy, which has helped me be able to find like, okay, that was what was going on, being the first time I had peace, I didn't know how to deal with it, so there's something that I'm, currently working through. So I do a lot of the stocking in the DMV area, which I plan to pass over to someone else, because my thing in life is, I don't want to just make money. I want to help other people make money, so if I'm making a good amount of money, I can I'll pay you to site. Even if it's cut into my profit, I can easily do it. It's more impactful for me to hire someone else, to do it, because that can be helpful for them. That's a few $100s a month that maybe I don't buy this drink, or maybe I don't go to dinner and spend $300, this day. Like, I can, give that to someone that's going to help them out.
Yeah. And even then, I mean, it'll help them out, but I feel like eventually they'll really help your business grow and scale, and not only pay for themselves. I mean, they'll end up paying for themselves probably 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times of what you were paying out initially. So yeah.
And that's how I grew my business. So when you ask how I scaled it, is by doing that. Hiring my sister was the first person. I love her to death. I moved her from back at home, 2 years ago, to Philly. So she's still in Philly, taking care of most of my Philly part, and I wouldn't have been able to grow where I am without her, So on Christmas, I gifted her a couple of vending machines that were already, in businesses making money, instead of selling it or thing like that, I just gave it to her. And, so she can have her own company, because she told me that she didn't want to work for nobody else. She had situations back at home where it was like she was tired of working for people. She's like, if I'm going to work for anyone, it's going to be my brother, because I know different, and I said, she didn't work for me. We work together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I talk, it's we. When me and her are talking to one another, I always say we because she deserves part of that, you know. So yeah,
Yeah.
she helped me grow my business. I got someone else and as a backup to her. And I've got a few people in the DMV that I'm gonna hire. Just because it is. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, that's how I scale my business. Like actually, like reaching out, and that's something that again I have to credit my fiance because she's like, you don't have to do all this shit yourself. Like she's big on that. You know what I'm saying? Like she don't even want me to fucking put something on my calendar. Have somebody else do it. Save your time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that really helped me grow because now I'm not taking time up over here. It allows me to make moves over here and over there. And now I've fallen in love with hiring people.
Yeah, and that's a real thing too. Because I mean, one, I feel like as entrepreneurs and as people like us who are pretty hands on, we end up almost wanting to do everything ourselves because like you were talking about therapy. I think that's a therapy thing because it's almost like you want to do everything yourself just to make sure it gets done, but you almost have to like you got to take those training wheels off and kind of free yourself a bit because that's the only way you can really even grow and expand the way that you really want to, man. So that's a major key. It's huge right there. So okay, so
I think
I think one of the major keys in all of that was the fact that you said you went to therapy, because as Black men, we don't think that's important. Like I remember growing up and I was always like, yo, whatever I'm going through, I can work through it. But when I did go to therapy, that really helped me understand who I was as a person and as a man, as a father, and try to be better. So, I mean, that's really important.
Yeah, I'm always I'm always gonna push therapy or similar word, whatever. If people get caught up on the word therapy, something similar. It's just I'm always gonna push that, especially for Black men, man, because they talk about people in world wars and all that kind of stuff, but they don't realize that like we really deal with PTSD, just as kids. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we are, exposed to, sensitized, and the things of that nature where it's like, and you don't know, how much it impacts you until it happens. Like I didn't know how much shit was impacting me until I was in therapy on the fucking couch crying to this person. Like I didn't even know that this shit was there or affecting me, or I saw that or I felt that. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea, like I went to therapy and said, I want to work on this because, these people getting on my nerves, or this is happening. But it's like, I got there and it was like, oh shit, I didn't know, so I'm always a proponent of it. Every Wednesday, 1 p.m., I hold Men's Wellness Wednesday for men. Like that's something I do. That's important to me. That's something I want to grow because I think it's impactful. And I'll use the word impactful because it's like, that's what I want to do. I want to have an impact. And I think that like knowing who I am, like I'm not saying like I'm some big person, but it's like I have a platform in a sense. I have people look at me and I realize that especially with men, like men respect men with a certain level of money or, power, things of that nature. And I know that sometimes like, you being a young Black man, it's like you got money. It's like, oh, you're supposed to behave this way. You're supposed to have all the women in the world. You're supposed to blow all the money doing this. You're supposed to do all of this shit. And it's like, for me, like, nah, let's be real about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like it's cool to just have one woman. It's cool to just be with that woman. It's cool to be in love. It's cool
to be a good father.
Therapy. Like that shit is cool.
Right.
And knowing that, and I'm okay with being the person that's gonna talk about these things. Maybe like, oh, you sharing too much or blah blah blah. Like, no, I'm cool with that shit because if it's 1 or 2, 3, like you gotta think about it. If I impact one guy, he's going to get better, and then he's going to impact someone else, and that's gonna how the cycle is going to keep on going. Because it's like when I see rappers, get on and people like, man, that person whack. They shouldn't have no deal. It's like, nah, man, think about that shit. For everybody like him, he has an entourage of people that's no longer in the streets. That's
a team that he's taking care of.
Lives are being saved. Like, I don't care about his music. I don't care about none of that shit. Like, I want him to keep winning because of what he's able to do for those other people. And that's why I am as transparent as I am. Like, no, I don't talk about no crazy L's because it's like, like that's some other stuff. But for the most part, just the regular human things that you think that, oh, because I make X amount of dollars that I don't go through, I go through. I feel that shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be out here promoting, smash every girl in the world. Listen, taking care of my woman, that's what I want to do. That's cool, man. Being a father,
peaceful, bro.
It's peaceful.
Cool. Right, it's good, you know what I'm saying? And that's a part of the reason why I'm like, damn, I gotta go to therapy, because having that level of peace was so new and different to me. And I didn't know how to respond to that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize, like, damn, now I'm just sitting there thinking about all the negative stuff in the world because I have so much time. And it's like, no, you know what? You need to figure this out. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, that.
Man, see, look, I already said this episode was going to have gems in it, but we already had tons of gems, but that to me is like the cherry on top, because it's like, man, look, we want to help folks get right with their business and their finances and all that. But like I told you at the top of the episode, we are family men. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what we are. And we're family men, and we're men, you know what I mean? And and as men, as Black men, we don't discuss that enough and don't talk about that enough. That's a major key for real, man. So like, get therapy. Even if you can't find a doctor, talk to some homies, and what you're doing as far as the men's wellness, like just providing the environment for men to just connect and speak and be transparent. That's a major key. That's huge right there, man. So got a couple more questions for you, man. I want to ask you. So folks are gonna hear this and be like, I need to go to therapy, but they're gonna be interested in the vending machine business. So if somebody wanted to get started, how much capital do they need? What's their process like? Like, if they wanted to get started in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 90 days, like what would they need to have in place to get at least, I guess, one or a couple machines?
I tell people to have at least have about $3,000. And I feel like that's a safe zone. A lot of, I would see people saying, get started for $1,000, get started for $1,500. And while I'm not going to say that's false, because that's true, you can, I don't recommend it. Like, that's not the way, because as somebody who, right now, my lowest account is $500 a month. You don't want to put like this. Being cheap is expensive. Like, being cheap is expensive.
In any business.
That's a bar.
Right? And people don't understand that, man. Like, I lost thousands of dollars a few months, like last month or so, by being cheap with something. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, yeah, you can go in there and because if you're starting with $1,500, or $1,200, that means you get, you have an old machine, like, that's older machine, it probably not gonna have a card reader on it. You know what I'm saying? But you still have, like, that's it right there. That's in a sense, a problem right there. Because what's gonna happen is it's gonna be breaking down more. It's gonna have problems. Maybe it's not breaking down, but the product is getting stuck all the time. You know what I'm saying? Or this is happening, that is happening. You're out there, and it's like, and then imagine if you have a good account that's worth something, that's so much more people that's going to be visiting this complaining.
Yeah.
Kick your ass out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's the truth. So it's like, get a better refurbished machine.
Yeah.
Add a card reader to your machine. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you calculate that stuff up, and it's like, you might need 2 machines as opposed to 1. If they want one machine, and they just like, oh, a drink machine, you can go with a drink machine, maybe pay $1,500. Like, because I'm not paying, unless it's like I got a crazy deal from somebody who bought a machine before they put have somewhere to put it, because that's the number 1 rule. Never buy a vending machine if you already don't have an agreement to put it somewhere else. It's counterproductive, because your goal is to make money. If you have to put it in storage, you're paying to have that machine after you already paid for the machine. Like, you don't want to do that. It also might not fit in the door space. It might not fit in that space. Like, you want to buy a machine that's going to be specific for that business. So if you have to buy one machine, and then You want to have a card reader on it, and then maybe they say, hey, we need 2 machines instead. You got to get a snack machine. So then that means that's you got to pay for that and another card reader. You know what I'm saying? And maybe delivery and more products. So it's like, I think $3,000 is fine for me, because as a guy who gets the combo machines a lot, I'll pay anywhere between $2,500 and $3,500 for a combo machine. And I get, and that's, and some of that is refurbished, because if I get, people who are going to look down, or people who might know me in the machines, like if I get a refurbished combo machine, I'm in the AMS, because that's a really good brand. So I'm gonna pay $2,600 for it. That's the cost of 2 machines, but it's a really good machine. It allows me to do things like put sandwiches in there. It allows me to do things like put a 16-ounce bottle in that, machine, where I'm, charging $1.85, but I'm paying 40 to 50 cents or maybe 60 cents, per bottle. So I'm tripling my money. You know what I'm saying? Like this, it leaves me a lot of room to make a lot of money. So even if I say I made $400 a month off of that, best believe my profit margins are amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So all right. So listen, those are bars. I'm taking notes. That's huge. I'm very actually interested in myself right now. So I think that's huge, man. So first of all, I want to say thank you for the game, but I'm about to take you to the lightning round, the last segment of the pod. We're probably got like 5 minutes left. So I want to ask a couple personal questions. So, all right, as a young Black man, I don't want to stereotype you, but I'm pretty sure that you're a hip hop fan. So look, what is your favorite rap album, or your favorite rapper and your favorite album?
My favorite rapper, man, it's crazy, because as I got older, I had a less favorite rapper. At this point in time, I hear something, I like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So while I was in college, J. Cole was a guy. I mean, Hove's the GOAT. I'm from New York, so it's like I don't think about him because it's just an automatic thing.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy, right? It's like it's Hove, and then it's everybody else. It's like, oh yeah. All right, we know him. Who? So it's like it was Hove. It's always Hove, and then Cole's my guy. I became a really big Young Thug fan. That guy can really make good music.
Yeah,
he makes a lot of good music for real. Thug, probably Thug is the one I listen to the most right now.
Okay, that's dope. All right. So what's your so
favorite rap album though?
What's your favorite album? Yeah.
That's a tough. I'm gonna tell you, probably the documentary by The Game.
All right. You know what? Honestly, I didn't expect that, but that's actually a very good selection.
All right, I was about to say, I would have to agree. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And here's the fact of the matter. My thing with Game is, I love Game. I think he name drops too much. But one thing that I can never say that The Game ever dropped a bad album. Like you just can't say it. Like he makes from the documentary to LAX to Doctor's Advocate, like they're all very good projects. So that's huge. All right. So next question. What is your favorite, or what is your maybe your top 3 favorite books? It could be 1, 2, however. Yeah.
Oh man, all I read is biographies. I always try to find successful people's story and find myself in there to where, So Charlemagne the God book was great.
Okay. What was the name? Was that Black Privilege? Black Privilege. Yeah. Okay.
Who else had a really good one? Mike Tyson's.
Oh wow, his life story is crazy.
Mike had a really good book, and this is gonna be surprising, but Pimp C's book was amazing. Was great.
Really?
That's surprising, because Pimp C's an amazing individual.
Pimp C, great. It was a long book, and I read every page. It was a great book, man.
Yeah, very smart dude too. Okay. All right. So last question, and this is inspired by that big homie Greg. What is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is every Halloween. Michael Myers is my guy.
Really?
Every Halloween.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, me.
It can be the worst movie you ever seen, but every Halloween movie is my favorite movie. I will watch all of them like it's my first time watching them. Like
okay,
when the new Halloween come out, they will play the original one in 78 in the theaters, and I would go in there and watch it to prep for the new one that's coming out.
Yeah, that's dope.
great.
All right, cool. That is, I definitely did not expect that, but that is dope though, still for sure, man. So look, brother Marcus, man, look, I knew this interview was gonna be dope. That it would be that the whole episode would be dope. But listen, you exceeded expectations, gave us so much game, provided so much insight and information, man. So, where can people find you? How can they connect with you, man?
Man, on Twitter, which is where you're gonna find the most about me and how much I talk and just learn, see who I am a little bit. It's at Brother Graham on Twitter. On Instagram, it's I am brother _ Graham. And those are the things that I use the most, but Twitter is definitely where it's going to be at. You can listen, for a lot of people that always be, for years, people will say I'll be capping about the money I make with my vending machine and blah, 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 stuff like that. Listen, I just had an article in the Business Insider come out a few weeks ago. Y'all can check it out, man. We really did over 300,000 last year and just some vending machines, not including other businesses that I have. That's going to be $500,000 at least this year. And the goal is $1 million next year. So people tell me for years, you can't make money off vending machines. The only people capping is y'all because
Right.
I'm doing it. All right.
Love that energy.
Yeah, man. Like it wasn't like it made me get the tough juice when it came out, but it was a level of validity in the sense of, they have to fact check it before they put that story out on you. You know what I'm saying? So when they said that, like I was happy, but when they're like, oh, we gotta fact check it. If it don't look right, I was happy when they said that. I'm like, oh, I got those receipts for you. You know, y'all can check me out on the Business Insider, which is a big moment in my life. Seeing myself in that article just did a lot for me, to be honest. My family, everybody back at home was, it was like I was a celebrity, man. Like, oh, he's from the town. Yeah, But yeah, y'all can check me on Twitter at Brother Graham, Instagram at I am brother _ Graham. I typically try to be responsive, but to be honest, I have a lot of people that hit me up daily. So that's why I try to just post gems daily, so that you guys can, maybe I can answer some of your questions that you might have been thinking about. I just drop it on the timeline. I do have a free vending training that's going to be coming out that I'm having on the 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you follow me on either one of those platforms, just go to the link in my bio. You can sign up there. I helped a lot of people start.
And we'll drop the link in our show notes as well. So they can find it there as well.
Yeah, links to all the socials. Yeah.
I know y'all be doing closing out, but I want to say thank you all for having me on, especially as the first guest. That it means a lot to me. For me, man, men, especially Black men, like this is who I do it for a lot. You know what I'm saying? I have 2 young Black sons, you know what I'm saying? Like who I, and just trying to give the world to and show them what it's like to be a man, not the macho, the TV version of a man, but a genuine man, and wanting to be a role model to Black men is important to me, so you hit me up, no hesitation. Yes, I'm there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know whether it was a big platform or small, I ain't care. Yo, Black men, they want to, I'm here.
Respect.
And we neighbors, so we definitely gonna link all.
We got to, bro.
For sure, man. So look, once again, brother Marcus, man, thank you for the time. Thank you for the wisdom and information. Appreciate you, man. Yo, big brother G, anything else you want to add?
Hey, man, this is an amazing episode. If you haven't done therapy, really look into it. Like, it don't make you weak. You're not soft. It's very important. I did it, and I thought I was doing it for anger issues, and I realized I had a lot to unpack. So it's very important. And whatever you're doing, stay down till you come up, bro. It's gonna work.
Yep. Hey, look, I can't even add nothing else. That's it, man. Like, yo, therapy, get your business right. I think one of the things that you said most importantly was, man, have your business bank account. Make sure your accounting is on point, because if you need to sell the business, that's going to be a major key. If you need to validate it for Business Insider when you blow up, that's going to be a major key. And just to keep yourself organized and less stress and all that too, man. So yeah, man. So look, yo, once again, thank y'all for watching. Thank you for being a guest on the show, big bro. Always appreciate you. And like, yo, another episode of Brick by Brick, man. Appreciate y'all. Later.
You too.